What's good, everybody, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of our Oakland Athletics rebuild here on MLB The Show 23. Getting to near to the end of the season. This is, post-recording commentary, but with the face cam this time around. Of course, last episode was a big one. If you missed it, I would encourage you to go watch it. The most surprising move we made was the acquisition of Trevor Rogers. Was not planning on buying at all at the deadline, but he was made available by the Marlins. He was on the block being actively shopped because he wanted a contract extension that would pay him double-digit $1 million a year. He wants to be featured and paid as an ace, and the Marlins already have Sandy Alcantara, and they have a lot of really good young pitchers. So they decided to move off of Rogers and get better at a couple other positions where they were pretty weak in terms of their farm system. Made a three-team deal with the Rockies. Spent like 5 minutes on that deal in that episode. So if you haven't seen it, would encourage it. It's towards the end of that episode. But now we have a new ace, right? He is the best player on the team, both probably going into the future and for this season. And so with a new ace, definitely going to want to see his debut. We will also have some gameplay in this episode. I know there's been some people in the comments that have wanted me to play, and we will play this episode. We will be starting off with some simulated CPU versus CPU games. We'll end off with a game that I actually played. But what we're going to watch is Trevor Rogers' debut against the Giants. That'll be CPU versus CPU. Going to watch some highlights of some CPU versus CPU against the Rangers, and then I will play one of these games against the Mariners. That is the format for this episode. We'll get through August, get ourselves into September, where we'll probably get through this first season. I've said it many times. I'm kind of just wanting to get through this first season pretty quickly, get to the off season, make this team mine and then we'll slow down a little bit. The drawback, obviously, we don't get to see the players this season as much as maybe I wanted to, and I feel like I haven't highlighted this team as much as I wanted to. So hoping to get several games in this episode that'll do a good job of highlighting the players. Let's get to know this year one team a little bit. Yes, I want to get through the season quickly, but I do at least want to have a baseline of knowing who I want to keep and who I feel like we desperately need to upgrade. I feel like we need to upgrade everywhere, right? But who is like we can't have them playing year two, and who can maybe still play for us for another year or two? And so that's what I aim to figure out with the last couple of episodes that will span the rest of the season. But here we are, Trevor Rogers pitching debut with the Oakland Athletics. Really promising lefty pitcher. He's been decent this year, but obviously we're hoping he can be even better in the years to come. He'll start with a hit. Not the way you want to start out your athletics career, but obviously it's just one hit. But it's not just one hit, 2 hits in a row to start off down the order with the San Francisco Giants. Maybe not looking so good. We've seen some pretty poorly pitched first innings, and so wanted to watch the entirety of this next at-bat because it was not very good to start out. Mike Yastrzemski, excuse me, very hard name to pronounce, but the first 2 pitches were very good, and it ends up with a strikeout. I ended up not watching the whole at-bat. I forgot I ended up putting out the middle because it ended up being kind of a long at-bat. Got the strikeout, very key. And Seth Brown able to get close to the double play, but just couldn't quite get there. Ended up being a fielder's choice. And the end of the first inning on a strikeout. Able to avoid any problems, of course. First 2 players got a hit, but he bounced back very nicely. Not going to watch any offense. This is a Trevor Rogers only game that we're going to be watching here, and much improved in the second inning, able to retire the Giants quietly. Now in the third, 0-2, gives up his third hit of the game. Just barely, a little blooper out there into right field. But, not really danger of going yard or anything there. This one will also be lifted into left, and Connor Capel is able to run under it. 3 shutout innings for Rogers. He's out there for the 4th. We have scored 2 runs, so protecting a lead. A nice pitch there on the inside corner. And he gets a called strike. A little help there from the umpire, but we will take it. 2-2 now for Wilmer Flores. He gets it into the gap. Mariano playing center field for us. Keep him at first base. But full count here, 2 outs, still 1 man on base for Austin Slater. He will walk him, and that will put a man in scoring position for Brandon Crawford, who scorches one. But right to Tony Kemp, able to retire him quietly. 4th shutout inning for Rogers. When I was simulating like half innings, I accidentally simmed the 5th inning, so I have nothing for that inning. But now into the 6th. Pitch count starting to get a little bit up there. He has good stamina, but not great. I think it's mid-70s. So you start to worry once, he's got a pitch count so high about him, maybe starting to let up some walks like that. But we're able to turn 2 for the double play. 5-4-3, 6 shutout innings for Rogers. In there in the 7th, but this is his 100th pitch. And this one's lifted deep to right center. Able to get the out, but starting to see, a little bit more contact from everyone. This one, early on in the pitch, early on in the bat, I should say, people just started swinging on him. Able to get some outs here, but the point of the matter is just the control was starting to really fall apart for him here. And this one caught by Butler, so he was able to get outs in like 1 or 2 pitches. That was helping him stay. It took him forever to get from 90 pitches to 104. This is multiple innings here. And once again, 2nd pitch in the at-bat gets another out. We're into the 8th inning with this guy. Doesn't have the best stamina. He's absolutely gassed at this point. Gets a strikeout there, nearing 8 complete innings of shutout baseball. Not something that I really thought we could count on him very much. Will allow a 2-0 hit here to Mike Yastrzemski. I can't say that. I'm so glad he's not in our division, so we won't play him that much. And that will end his day, but still an incredible debut as the Athletics will get the combined shutout in the end of the Giants. Could not be more pleased with what I saw from Trevor Rogers. Almost looked like it was going to be a rough start there, allowing a hit on his first 2 at-bats. Now, 7.2 innings of shutout baseball. Love that debut from him. Honestly, just like I said, couldn't ask for anything better. So we get that 4-0 win against the Giants. Simulating this next one, we'll split the series. And now it's time to hop into some highlights of the Rangers. Now, Waldichuk was terrible in the condensed highlights that we saw in last episode. Couldn't even last 2 innings. Able to start with a ground out there though. But Leody Taveras was able to reach base early on in of the count. Quick double for him at the top of the first. 1 out for us thus far. Corey Seager up next. He did not go and will reach base on a walk. So now 2 men aboard for the Rangers. Once again, not looking great in the first inning for Waldichuk. And now this one's lifted deep to right field, and it will go over the wall. That's a 3-run homer for Nathaniel Lowe. Does he go by Nate Lowe or Nathaniel Lowe? I honestly do not know, but baseball, it's not, the sport I know most about, but a big time hit. And once again, A struggling first inning for Ken Waldichuk. Able to get that second out on a strikeout, however. Jonah Heim up next to bat. He will ground out, and so able to keep it to 3, but that's not really a high bar to cross. And in terms of looking at where we're at, Lawrence Butler hitting nearly 300 is certainly a pleasant surprise. And then Jace Peterson, the only other player over 250 on the entire squad. We need offense. We need contact hitting so desperately. Jace Peterson lifts this one in the center field. Got some contact on it, but that was kind of the highlight of the first inning for us, which wasn't really a highlight. So not looking great. Simeon here able to beat the throw. He'll get on base to start the second, and things once again for Ken Waldichuk the last couple of episodes. Not looking great. Able to steal here, even with, the massive arm of Langeliers, able to beat it. So he's now in scoring position, nobody out. Robbie Grossman gets that one to fall down. Ramon Laureano will throw home. But that's an easy run for Simeon. Robbie Grossman picks up an RBI. That's now the 4th run in the first 2 innings allowed. This one lifted by Josh Jung, and it will bounce off the wall. Gable just couldn't handle it, but oh boy, Ken Waldichuk, man. He is not looking good. Had a comment that Eric Ullman, somebody that we traded for, could be a starter. He has 60 stamina. Maybe he should take Ken Waldichuk's spot, because we've seen in 2 games, Waldichuk just does not have it right now. And the second episode in a row, he can't even make it through 2 innings. This man is not doing well. And of course, still have hopes for him long term. He is one of the youngster pitchers that we can hope can someday be good. JP Sears comes in, allows the 7th run of the first 2 innings. Oh boy, it was tough to watch here, but nearly able to get a double play there. Throw gets him off the bag. Not that he really needed it anyway, but needed to tag him to get him out. But Sears able to turn to there, just barely. Finally getting us out of the second. So what we're going to do here with these games is we're going to play the first 3 and last 3 innings and simulate the middle 3. That allows me to just get more games into a single episode. Seth Brown reaches base for the first time for us. Ramon Laureano next at bat, however, he strikes out. And Langeliers, we're caught stealing with Seth Brown. Offense was not easy to come by, and honestly, it shouldn't be. This team's hitting ratings aren't very good. Like, getting a guy who has both contact and power in the 50s is like a blessing in this team, whereas like you want that guy low in your lineup. The guy's like hitting 5th. That's Ramon Laureano's. That's where his hitting stats are, and so I'm grateful for an episode like this. Like I said, I've already seen everything that happens here. That was a play. Decided to go to second instead of first there. Couldn't get either. Luckily, it didn't end up hurting us though. Laureano gets that catch. It just established more for me just how much we need to improve. Got a better idea of who kind of I like. Here is Jordan Diaz hits base. If his potential wasn't D, I'd like him a lot more. Like, there's a couple of young guys who I think have played decently well. Jordan Diaz here, one of them. Lawrence Butler, another. But just their potentials, how much can you really depend on them long term? Butler here lifts one deep to left. Just not able to get it past the left fielder though. Jordan Diaz will advance to third base. Put us in a position where we can get a sacrifice fly and finally get on the board here. But we've got Asterio Ruiz, who is really bad at the plate. You know, he's got a lot of position flexibility. He's a good defender with some speed, but he just cannot hit. Diving play here at second base will get Tony Kemp out and in the third. Nice play there by Marcus Semien, who's had a really nice game against us. He's been making plays on both sides, and just having two-way players would be so refreshing. And here, through 4 innings, it's already a double-digit deficit. And you know, if we can't get it closer here in the next 2 innings, we're not coming back into this game. Like, I want to play the first and the last 3 innings, but 13-0? No, I'm not coming into a 13-0 game. Let's get out of here. Let's get into another game. Hopefully it's a lot closer so we can actually watch the last 3 innings. That would be something that I would like to do. 15-0. This was an embarrassment. 15-0 loss in the division. I wanted an episode to establish just this year 1 team and the status of it. There you have it. That was the goal I set for episode 7. I think we've done it. You know, promising pitcher in Trevor Rogers, but nowhere close to a done deal. Now, Dalton Jeffries this year, he hasn't been incredible by any means, but you know, he's a starting pitcher in the 60s. Would expect him to be pretty bad. He's honestly been better than I'd hoped, so I was excited to get an opportunity to see him here. And so far, put the first 2 down quietly. Corey Seager up with a full count. Got him to swing on the circle change. Strikes him out. Good first inning from him. Much better than we've seen from Waldichuk, that is for sure. And then Connor Capel swings through the slider here. And that's the first strikeout for Danny Duffy. And Jace Peterson swings on this one. That's a long way to go for the right fielder, but he will get there. And that's going to end the first for us. We go down quietly as well. Dalton Jeffries here in the second inning. Had a man on base, but he will have a man on base no longer. Gets a double play to get out of the second inning. Let's see this double play again. Not often you see some Athletics highlights, so when you see some, sometimes you gotta see them twice. Wasn't even like the coolest double play ever, but you always like a double play. Seth Brown strikes out here in the bottom of the second. And then that brings up Ramon Laureano. He strikes out. So it's good to know that, you know, when we played against the Rangers, we're not the only one just basically getting struck out time and time again. At least when I was striking out, it was to DeGrom, you know. This one's to freaking Danny Duffy. Brad Miller able to find himself on the base path with a little blooper out to left field. You know, laughing about it with the first base coach. You know, a hit is a hit. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Dustin Harris, though, takes us yard on the first pitch of the at-bat. That'll be a 2-run homer for Dustin Harris. Dude doesn't even have like a real face. That is like a MLB The Show generic face scan, and he's out here taking us yard. So that's what you like to see, I suppose. Goodness. Corey Seager up to the plate. He will fly out to left. Should be an easy play for Connor Capel if he makes it. So now at the bottom of the third, can we come up with any offense? At least get a guy with some speed on the base path, but already have 2 outs. I don't have faith that we're going to be able to do anything with it. And wild pitch there. Will advance Misteri Ruiz to second. Now we have somebody in scoring position. Can we get Kemp to just get a base hit here? He flies one out to right field, just doesn't have the power. His power is in like the low 40s. So that'll end the third. Got a man in scoring position, just couldn't do anything with it. Like I said, we will simulate the middle 3 innings of this game. And so far, sticking at 0-2. I want to get shut out here, so if we could get something in simulation just to ease something. There we go. Oakland is on the board. Let's get into the bottom 3 innings. That one's lifted. A long way to go for Lawrence Butler, but he makes it. Nice effort on that one. We'll keep Kyle Farmer off the base paths. Dustin Harris, he's up, and we can't get the play. That'll be an error. Allowing Dustin Harris, back up on the base paths. I guess he wasn't really on the base paths the first time because he homered, but Adolis Garcia now taking us yard. Sam Mole gives up the 2-run homer, so the error really comes back to bite us. Puts an extra run on the board for the Rangers. Now down 4-1. I'm not confident that our offense can come and make up this deficit with 3 innings to go for them. No. I would love to have a team that could hit homers. We've seen what, 1 so far this year? Granted, we haven't watched a lot, so you can't really blame them for not being able to hit homers, but it's just sometimes it's sad to watch this team play baseball. Just notice talent differences between us and the teams that we're going up against. Particularly in the division, as Domingo Acevedo just beans Simeon. He's been having a good game. Sometimes you got to take out your frustration. I hope that wasn't on purpose. Can you like purposely hit somebody in this game? I mean, if you're gonna do that, you also gotta add, storming the land, which I don't think they have that either. Ramon Laureano throwing for home, but man, stayed at third. Bases juiced, 1 out. Zach Jackson comes in and can't quite get 2, so we will allow a run to cross. Now 5-1. 3-1 pitch for Jackson is outside. Bases juiced once again. This time we got 2 outs. Yeah, don't throw that to Dustin Harris. He's been goated, but Adolis Garcia has also taken his yard. This time gets good contact with Jace Peterson. Able to get his glove on it. We avoid things getting even worse. Offense needs to pick things up here, and we will not start out very hot. Asturi Ruiz grounds out. Tony Kemp up next. Tried to check his swing, did not do it. That'll be a strikeout for Tony Kemp. And now 2 down. Only have 4 outs to play with. Need 4 runs. Connor Capel rips it up the middle, though. Able to reach base. So can we keep it going with Jace Peterson? He's hitting third for us. Jace Peterson is hitting third for us, man. Able to get the tag on Capel. Nearly were able to extend it, though. Nothing really happened in the the top of the 9th, so we'll go to the bottom of the 9th. We will reach with our leadoff man, Seth Brown. Laureano, can he make something happen? No. Simeon snags it. Double play. We've got 1 out left to play with, and things are not looking too good for the good guys. And Langoliers will look at strike 3, and that's how this game will end. 0-2 in the 2 games we watched against the Rangers. Neither game was really all that close. Second game, at least, was close. It wasn't 15-0. It wasn't 15-0. Jeffries, got into the 6th inning, so that was a much better pitching performance. I think there's a better performance in general from the squad, but obviously still not nearly enough to win. Thought about maybe getting a 3rd game in here, but based on, I just thought it would make the episode too long, and so we'll just simulate here this 3rd game against the Rangers, and then continue our simulation until we get to the Mariners, where I will play for the first time since I think it was episode 3 that I played a game. So we get swept by the Rangers. Got a couple wins in there against the Royals. So we win that series. And then we split a series with the White Sox. When it came to which game I wanted to play, I hadn't really seen James Caprillion in recent memory. I don't know if we've seen him pitch this season, if I'm being honest. So I wanted to get a game with him in here. So we'll play that first game against the Mariners. Just a little bit of a status update on a couple of our players. Rogers seems to still be kind of continuing so far. I mean, hasn't played that many games with us, but stats look relatively the same from when we got him. He is up to 80 overall. So first time we've had an 80 overall player on the team in the franchise. Soderstrom, I can't remember if I showed this before, but his potential has gone down to B, which probably means I don't look at everyone's potentials only if like I'm about to trade them, so that I know just how fair it is. So, like when I was trading Daniel Suzak, I wanted to make sure I wasn't giving them like an 81 B. I wanted it to at least be a mid B, and it was. Well, let's hop into this game. Played it and started off with a ground out. This is all-star difficulty. I don't know if I mentioned that. Hall of Fame was just a little bit too much for me. I think maybe once I get used to the game, we can go back again as Tony Kemp strikes out here. Also got the tip to maybe do dynamic difficulty. And if All-Stars may be too easy or too hard, I can certainly see myself going to that. Because I want there to be a struggle, but I want to at least give my players a chance, as we do here with Jesus Aguilar. And Jace Peterson gets up to third base. And we got a man 90 feet from scoring here in the first inning. Already doing better than we did in the first time we played. But we probably should be, as we're not facing the ground this game. Wild pitch. And the coach sent Jesus Aguilar. I don't care how wild the pitch is, man. I do not care. You do not send Jesus Aguilar. Oh, I have automatic base running. It was not me who sent Aguilar. I was so just like flabbergasted when the CPU sent Aguilar in that instance. Connor Capel have a chance to bring somebody in, but basically hits it right to the first base, so that to make Ty France's job a little bit easier. And we got a couple hits, but not able to make anything out of it. Caprilion's first pitch, nice and low in the zone. Just gonna show this first hole at bat for our boy James, and did a nice job here finding the bottom of the zone against Dylan Moore. 0-2 pitch. Probably want to pitch this one out of the zone. Pitch sequencing to me, something I have very little experience with, but able to get the 3-pitch strikeout to start out. Pretty good. Ended up, of course, being inside the zone, but I aimed for outside the zone. And in the end, it worked out for us. We were able to get through the first inning pretty easily with Caprillion. I liked what he was showing me in that first inning. Strike 3 looking for Laureano. I thought that was going to break a little bit further outside. It did not. Another strikeout. Hey, at least, with what we saw in the beginning of the episode, I know I'm not like striking out more than they do, because they strike out a lot too. Caprillion allows a hit here to Eugenio Suarez, who at 29 speed able to get a double on the plate. That's really, really solid contact, so no surprise that one was a double there. Strike 3 swinging for Calorale here. Another nice fastball right at the top of the zone. It's going to be a good strike 3 pitcher. This one a slider that did not go where I wanted it, but it worked out for us in the end. Strike 3 looking. Another shutout inning for Caprillion. Top of the third now. Chase Peterson's going to reach base for the second time. That first one, I think I said it was a ground out. It obviously wasn't. He ended up beating the throw. So he's 2 for 2 on the day. Kemp gets a fastball a little bit high, but once again, those ratings got a good time swing on it. Just That's a player. Maybe if you have somebody talented, you actually can get a hit off of that. But Jesus Aguilar strikes out swinging there. Not able to get Jace Peterson across home plate. Kaprelian walks the leadoff man here. Bottom of the third. Tom Hardy up next. This one should be a double play. Kemp throws to Seth Brown, and we will complete it. Wade, somebody that we called up to the bigs after trading away Ledmus Diaz. Seth Brown going deep, and we've got a home run here to lead off the fourth. Let's go. Pumped about this one. Have not seen a lot of home runs from this team. Glad to see one here from Seth Brown. 370 feet. Not the deepest home run you're ever going to see, but a home run nonetheless. Taps his foot there on home plate, and we get on the board for the first time here, top of the fourth inning. Take another look at that one. Starting to lose my voice a little bit here. Laureano 3-0 pitch. He was green lighted, and we've got the second solo shot of the fourth inning. 3-0 pitch. Was expecting something right down the middle of the play. We were ready for it. Knocked it out of the park. This one a little bit longer, not quite to that 400-foot mark. And there we go, able to get 2 runs across the board on a couple of solo shots here in the fourth. Butler able to smoke one up the middle as well. Fourth inning, treating us very kindly here. 1 out and a man aboard. Lawrence Butler has some speed to him, not the fastest ever, but he will go for the steal here, and he gets in safely. Nicely executed there, but on the steal, looks like he injured a finger. So Butler been the most pleasant surprise of this season by far. Hopefully it's just a minor injury. And coming out of this game, I can confirm that it wasn't anything too crazy for him. We brought Brent Rooker in, and he's able to get to the home plate safely. Langoliers picks up an RBI. Jace Peterson got a little bit under that one, and so the fourth inning will come to an end, but 3 runs scored on it. Beautiful. Now bottom of the fourth. This one's popped out just over the glove of Jace Peterson. JP Crawford will reach on the 1-2 pitch. 2-2 now. That one's a swing and a miss by Ty France. Another strikeout picked up by Kaprelian. 1-2 now. That one's a called strike. Iffy one, but I'm going to take it. And Kaprelian's done a pretty nice job striking people out at this point in the game. Can't find it there, though. He'll walk Eugenio Suarez. And that brings up Cal Raleigh, who able to sneak it past the shortstop. And that will score Seattle's first run of their game. So first 3 innings were pretty quiet, but the fourth inning for both teams has produced a lot of runs. And this one might produce 2 more. That one is thrown home. Not in time. It was close. Mariano has an arm, but just couldn't quite get it there. Now 3-3 from 0-0 to 3-3 in 1 inning. So very exciting fourth. Jesus Aguilar with 1 out, able to reach base there. Smoke that one over the middle. Just watch it again. This is the big man getting himself a hit. Seth Brown up next. He swings through the curveball, was way ahead of that one. And that'll be the second out of the inning, and we just couldn't get anything going with Jesus Aguilar. This little bunt. Jace Peterson's not taking the disrespect. Bare hands it. Get out of here, Dylan Moore. We're not bunting here in the 5th inning, man. Get out of here with that weak crap. JP Crawford struck out here at the bottom of the 5th. And then Kaprelian deep left there, but not quite enough to go yard. And so the score will remain 3-3 through 5 is what I'm trying to say. Ariana up next to bat. He swings through the slider. We'll start with the strikeout. Shea Langoliers up next. He has an RBI in this game. And this one is popped up. First baseman able to get underneath it, and no score here for the Oakland Athletics at the top of the 6th. Bottom 6th, though. Capellian remains in the game, and he picks up a slider. These guys are not swinging at this slider that honestly is pretty... We've left in a pretty hittable spot a couple times. This one will be an out. Nice effort there by Seth Brown at first base. Our corner infielders have pretty good fielding ratings, and honestly, I think both of them have been pretty good. Again, one of my goals with this episode was to find out who could be part of the squad next year, and I think both corner infielders will be. Perfect swing there from Tyler Wade. Results in an out. That's unfortunate. That's what I like about this this method of playing those. At the end of the day, it will still be player-based. Chase Peterson going for 3 on this hit. And he's got there easily. A nice triple there. Chase Peterson, 1 down. Perfect opportunity for us to get the go-ahead run across the board, but I'm swinging at the low slider. Sometimes I just can't help it, man. Swinging at the slider again. 2 pitches that were both balls. Had a man at third. Definitely choked that one away in the 7th. But we were also able to retire the Mariners quietly in the 7th, so it will remain tied. We have a man in scoring position, but Rooker swings through the slider. The slider was killing me on these strikeout pitches, and so couldn't take advantage of that scoring opportunity. JP Sears into the game. He will walk the leadoff man in the 8th, and that's a ball lifted into right center field. Mariano tracking it down, but this will score the go-ahead run for the Seattle Mariners. And now some pressure put on us for the 9th. This one smoked through the middle, and it should score another. Ramon Mariano giving it his all, but it is not enough. We've scored all 3 of our runs in 1 inning. We've had 8 innings of not doing great. Zach Jackson brought into the game. That didn't help at all. Luckily, we've got a really slow man there at third, but still can't quite get the out. Need this one, and we'll get it. Round 3 in the 9th, though. Have I shown you anything to give confidence in my ability? Shea Langoliers, I was just being aggressive. I wasn't, I decided to be aggressive and just try to get some hits here. Langoliers goes down on the pitch that would have been a ball. Wade swings through for strike 3. Not looking good. Another strikeout. We'll end the game. So we lose 6-3. I had a lot more fun this time around playing, though, so I think we'll be adding more gameplay into the series. Plan to play the game again for episode 8. All-Star, I think, is the right difficulty for me. At least for now. Maybe we'll go back to Hall of Fame at some point. But really enjoyed the game at All-Star. Felt like we were able to have more fun, still have the game be largely ratings dependent, right? We had some perfect swings that weren't resulting in hits. And that's where I like it. As long as I feel like the ratings are still being respected, I'll play like on the easier, more fun difficulty. I mean, we still lost by 3 to the Mariners, who aren't like anything special, right? So that's all we have for this episode. Next episode, we still got some division games. Probably gonna play the Angels, maybe the Astros. Probably it's pretty similar. Maybe not like without the Trevor Rogers pitching game. That's kind of the plan for next episode. Gonna get through September, get through this first season. Hope you guys liked this episode. Also might get into some AA playoffs because our AA team looks like a playoff team. But that's all I have for this episode. I'll be back soon with another, and I will see you then.